Welcome to Change the Narrative. I'm your host, JD Fuller.
I'm Suzy Younger,
an African-American licensed psychotherapist.
I'm also a licensed therapist.
We talk about the isms. We talk about the phobias, anything that marginalizes and oppresses.
As a white woman, I ask the questions white people are too afraid to ask.
Everything we are not and everything we are is because of fear.
Through a mental health lens, Suzy and I will have difficult conversations with celebrity guests, political activists, and everyone in between.
Our mind will tell us whatever we want to believe, but the truth lives in the body, and that's where change occurs.
Are you ready to change the narrative?
Alex Thomopoulos has climbed the culinary and comedic ladder to become the multi-talented and multi-passionate culinary artist and chef. She's the Emmy-nominated host of the food travel series Moveable Feast on PBS. She's an actress, Instagram influencer, writer, stand-up comedian, and she's all about flavor, whether it's the food, social justice, hunger initiatives, or having a positive impact and bringing joy to the world. Welcome, Alex.
Thank you for that intro, Suzy. I don't think I've been nominated for an Emmy, but I'd like to be, so maybe you're manifesting
Exactly.
Wasn't the show nominated?
The show was nominated. I was not the host, though.
Okay. Oh.
I'm just...
You still have a connection. Don't minimize the connection.
Sure. Great.
6 degrees of separation.
I also like to refer to myself as not an influencer, but rather an enabler. If I influence anybody, like we'd all be in a really, really bad place.
I don't believe that, and neither does
we'd be
Suzy.
drunk at a bar, making very bad decisions.
Sometimes people need to do that if they can.
Yeah, exactly.
Alex, how did you become Alice T. Cooks of Instagram fame? Tell us your journey.
Okay, starting with, I started in stand-up comedy and I was acting right out of high school. And it took a lot of years for me to kind of get some traction and to be able to support myself. I was cooking on the side. I was tired of waiting tables, and I wanted a little bit more control and stability. And I really turned to the kitchen to kind of find that, what I was looking for. And it kind of spiraled into a catering company, a private chef company, and it really took me off stage and into the kitchen for about 6 or 7 years. I was just trying to survive and trying to kind of find what made me happy. So I kind of left the comedy world for a little bit, but I've always loved to make people laugh. And what I realized is that food and laughter evoke the same emotions in people. And whether you're feeding them a plate of food or you're telling them a joke, it's an inevitable joy that I'm drawn to in people. And so, yeah, my last name is so complicated, and I didn't think that anybody would know how to, first of all, they don't know how to say it. Second of all, nobody knows how to spell it and find me. So I needed a handle that people would be able to kind of remember. The only problem is now everybody thinks that my last name is Cooks. Yeah. So, and it's just a coincidence that I do cook. And so now all my friends refer to me as T Cooks or just Alex T Cooks. Like, it's just a thing that is just taken a life of its own. I retired from the kitchen. So I helped consult for a restaurant down in Venice. I continued my catering company while I was pursuing a career as a host, and I booked the show Moveable Feast. Started hosting that show. I hosted 2 seasons of a cooking show online called Gluten Free with Alex T and Bites and Booze. And yeah, it was just kind of a natural marriage, but I love that car alarm going off. It's the beauty of living in West Hollywood. There's never not construction happening outside of my house. And it makes it such a joy to work from home. So anyways, I once I was able to kind of create some sort of financial stability in my life, I really wanted to get back into acting and comedy. And so that's kind of the trajectory that I'm on at the moment. And writing and yeah, I mean, that's the whole spiel.
Okay.
That's the
I'm
whole
sorry it was
spiel.
really long-winded.
No, it's an admirable spiel. Nobody's going to hate on that. So one of the things I noticed, being one of your avid followers on Instagram, is that you use your privilege and your platform responsibly. How do you do that? What's the trick?
I think it's just accountability is the trick, and kind of knowing the difference between right and wrong, and seeing how I've fallen short in the past and how I can do better. And it's just holding myself accountable every day to humbly do better in life, and recognize that I have an immense amount of privilege. And so the fact that, if I don't do anything, that's complicit. Dyslexia is so fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, complicit. I get it.
It's an effortless accountability. And I think I was talking to Suzy about this the other day when the insurrection happened at the Capitol, and how it was so overwhelming, and I had so much work to do that day, and I was just like so overwhelmed. I was like, I can't deal with one more thing. And I turned the news off. I deleted my Instagram, and I kind of went into a little like hole. And I caught myself and I said, this is your privilege. Like, what are you doing right now? You got to stop and pay attention to what's happening, and look at what's happening in front of your face and do something about it. Help raise awareness, use your voice to support and raise your voice to raise awareness for this injustice that's happening. And so, yeah, again, it's just every day, accountability.
I appreciate that though, because I mean, look at you. You could get by, you're gorge. You could get by without doing anything or saying anything and ever being bothered. And I look at social media and I see it all the time. People are about publicizing themselves, pushing themselves, promoting themselves. I mean, therapists right now are having their own Instagram fame, because they're doing all these little things like this and this and this and that. And
the TikTok things, the this,
Yes.
the that.
And then that, and then this, and so it's a new age out there. It's a new age. And so, I say all that just to say you could get away with doing that, but something drives you. And that's why I said, you're a low key activist. And I'm wondering what pushes you, what makes that happen?
I think it's just in my blood, I guess. I think it's just being a good human, having a moral compass. That's what drives me every day, is when I see injustice, or I see people being treated not fairly, it hits a part in my body where it's just like, I can't ignore that. So that's what drives me. It's just this, my deep conscious of doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I mean, it's good that it's at your core, because clearly it's not at everyone's core.
No, and that's the frustrating part, JD. It's like, it's extremely frustrating, because I look at people and I go, how do you not see this? It's right in front of your face. It's not hidden. And especially after this last year, it really forced everybody to stop and go, no, this has been happening for a lot of years, and we have just exercised our privilege to kind of go, nah, not interested, or it doesn't bother me. It doesn't really affect me. Yeah. And it's just kind of like, it's too in your face to ignore.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, that would be my hope, is that it's too in people's faces to ignore. I think one of the skills you have is that you are able to motivate people without alienating people. And so talk about what you know about that. It's a skill.
I mean, I lose a lot of followers more than I gain. Like, I don't have a huge social media following compared to other quote unquote influencers, because I I'm just authentically myself. I'm not catering or pandering to a specific audience. I'm just me. And I think that the audience that I have curated are a group of people of a group of like-minded people that appreciate the candidness and the openness. What was the initial question? Sorry,
Also,
my
you know, like you motivate and you don't
yeah.
alienate. You know, the other
Yes.
day you spoke of a restaurant in Venice, and all of a sudden everybody's orders started, you know,
Oh
flying
yeah.
through to donate whatever meal they bought to someone in the community, I guess. And I was
Yeah.
like, I mean, she spits on the mic and they want to wipe it off. What are you doing? What's she got?
Yeah. I
So
think, you know what,
you motivate.
it's creating a voice of authenticity. And I think on social media, everybody is trying to sell you something. They're trying to sell a version of themselves. And it comes across as like kind of bullshit. And you know, when I don't work with a lot of brands, mainly because like nobody pays me enough. Like they want to give me like $50 to hawk their product. I'm like, no, not interested. But you know, the products that I do endorse or I do want to share are things that I actually use, that I actually like. And like most of the time people are not paying me to say it. And I think that people appreciate that. It's a nice, fresh breath of fresh air in this space. And so I think I'm playing the long game on social media and not just the short game, and really building an authentic voice.
You know, that really
online.
makes sense. That makes sense, Alex, because I do notice that people, because I study people obviously as a therapist, and I watch who watches you, and I'm like, you know, they really care about you. You know, they are authentically caring about you and checking in to see how you're doing, and you're also mirroring something in their lives, you know, in terms of this pandemic and how difficult it's been. And I mean, I spent 9 months living alone, so I know what it was like. And I love being alone, but I even got sick of me. And so,
I like being alone. When this first went down, I was like, this is Mrs. God, thank you for answering my prayers. Because I was like, I don't like people. I don't want to be around them. I want to keep to myself. But I'm like you, where I live alone. I don't see a ton of people. My dog, my best friend in the whole world, the thing that kept me sane, I had to put him down. So it's really a lack of companionship, and it's been really hard. And when I do those funny videos about me sitting on my couch, which you can see over there with my plant Daniel, who I named, and that's Gloria.
Right.
And I have Roberta outside. Roberta's the newest member.
Excellent.
But it's the amount of people that reach out to me and say, I can't tell you how much it means to me because you seem like you have it all, which I really don't. But like, they say, like, I feel less alone to know that I'm not the only one that's feeling lonely and sad. And I mean, this is a really sad time for all of us. And even the friends that I like do want to go see, they're just like, no. And, you know, we're all just like, can we hug? Can we this? Can we? It's like, you have to mourn that part of your friendship, and you have to mourn connection. And it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
True.
It's a
when
lot.
when they reach out to you and tell you that they're alone and they're feeling sad, let them know that Suzy Unger Therapy and jdfuller.com are there for their mental health needs. Go ahead.
Oh,
Suzy.
you know, after this podcast comes out, I'm gonna be like, listen, I got the 411 on the
Right?
Yeah.
Right? So Alex, you share your story every single day. How do you decide, with all the emotion and everything you just talked about, how do you decide what you're going to share and what you're not going to share?
If I had a filter, I could answer that question, but I don't. I just, things come into my mind, and this is what got me in trouble my entire life, is if I feel it, I'll say it, and I don't care. Like, I really don't care. That's like you, JD. You don't give a shit.
I know.
It's like, you got to say what you feel and what you're going through. And yes, there are times where I will censor myself in the sense of like, it's not, I don't know how to properly phrase it yet, or I don't know how to properly express it yet. And, you know, there's times where I'm like, I need to just amplify somebody else's voice and not have an opinion about it and not make myself the center of it.
Yes.
And so that's the only time I will kind of choose what to post, what not to post, and things like that.
And
Like when George Floyd happened, I was like, I can't be the one talking about this. I need to amplify the voices that really can speak to such a tragedy like this, and the systemic racism and all the things that come with it. Those are the moments that you just have to kind of make that decision.
And your story is filled with so much balance. I think that that's what people really see and appreciate about you. So all that stuff in your head, we're going to play a game right now. It's called, oh no, it's called word association. So I'm going to give you one word 3 times, and you're just going to tell us the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay, get ready. Is there a censor button?
No, don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's really,
Yeah, that's
ready?
right.
Deep breath, garlic,
Delicious.
fame,
Fake.
whiteness,
Ooh. I want to say like a Twinkie. I don't know.
haven't heard that one before. Love
that's
it.
A good one. That's a new one.
That's a good one. Okay, spill the tea.
Can I elaborate on that for a second?
Sure.
I think
Please.
it makes more sense. No, I mean, this is where my brain goes, and this is probably, you guys are the therapist, so you'll probably go, she probably needs our help a little bit more than she does. But I think that the twink, this theory is so dumb, and I'm making it up as we
just
go.
take us through it. Don't censor it. Take us through
Here's
it.
the train of thought. So when I hear whiteness, I think of something that has always just been, like the thing that is always just there, and classic quintessential Americana. Nobody questions it. Nobody really dives into kind of like what it is. And that's what I feel like Twinkies are.
No, that's actually, Alex, I have to tell you, that's friggin' genius, quite honestly.
Like, so Twinkies are a bunch of bullshit. Like, it's a bunch of bullshit put inside of bullshit, wrapped up, and it never expires. So actually, you know what? This is actually genius.
Yeah.
Am I a genius?
I mean,
Yes.
I'm just saying that was darn
It
good.
sits on the
Well,
shelf.
hold on, JD. You're the professor. What grade would you give her in class?
Well, once she flushed it out like that, no doubt an A. That was a connection that just worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a
Okay.
thing that's there, and it doesn't expire. That's the other thing. It sits on the shelf, and we never check the date on it to make it, make it fresh.
Ooh,
Fresh
Alex,
batch, maybe
That's
like rethink the recipe.
love
Okay,
that.
keep going. Now I'm running.
Yeah.
Here we
Oh,
go.
now we're going. Okay, now we're going to have you spill some tea. Tell us
Okay.
about some of the oddest DMs you've gotten.
Oh, you know what? Actually, they're not so bad anymore. I think that as I kind of curate, or as people kind of come and go, and I engage with certain people and don't engage with other people. I had a pretty nasty one when I was engaged to my ex-fiance, who was a woman. Some woman wrote me when my mom was diagnosed with cancer that my mother had cancer because God was punishing my family for my choices. And I was like, okay, Carol, you need to just maybe check your Bible and see in which passage in Leviticus Jesus said you got to send random strangers nasty shit on the internet.
mean,
I just, whatever, but I get, very sweet, like
unbelievable.
I get a lot of sweet guys who write me and say that that I'm their dream girl. And I'm just like, thank you. Will you please tell them to all the toxic men I'm dating here in LA? But yeah, no, I mean, everybody's super nice. I do get the occasional crazy person, but they've kind of weeded themselves out.
Okay. Thank you, JD. Take it.
So tell us about what you're up to lately. What's going on?
Well,
Projects, ideas, creativity.
And promote your show.
Daniel.
yes. So right now, the newest season of Moveable Feast with Relish is on PBS.
And it's so
on
good,
Amazon.
everyone.
Thank you. It was a blast to shoot. We shot it back in September in the fall in New England, and it is really just a celebration of the farmers and the chefs there and the food that is grown in that region of the country. I got to just meet the most amazing people and hear the most incredible stories and cook the most amazing food. So that's out now. New episodes are airing every week on PBS, and you can also stream it on Amazon through the PBS Living kind of add-on to your Amazon Prime subscription. And that's the show. So that's me promoting my show. And
Right.
then, I mean, my day job's kind of boring. I write for an ad agency, which is extremely taxing and time consuming, but learning a lot. And then I just wrote a pilot, which is kind of based on my life. It's a scripted comedy based on my life working as the help as a private chef in this home. And it's about all the cast of characters in this beautiful, diverse group of immigrant housekeepers and house managers that become more than just friends. They become family, and it really is. It's been a blast to write, and Suzy's been helping me with it.
It's
That's
fantastic. I can't wait for it to get out there.
Let me just say you made reference to New England, and let me just tell you that's how we are here.
Yeah.
That's what we're made of. New England is a different kind of energy. So I'm glad you had a good experience out here. And, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, where in New England are you?
Right now I'm in Florida, but I'm from Connecticut. And so when you were up that way, I was like, it was very familiar to me. And that's just kind of how we roll. So
I had never spent any time in New England, and I was so
Oh.
blown away with the people that I met consistently across the board, how humble, hardworking, engaging, kind, passionate, all of from the beer brewers to the farmers to the oyster farmers to the lobstermen, everybody was so excited to be able to share a little bit of their world with our show. And also, I mean, it was the most beautiful time of year. I fell in love with the East Coast. It was just extraordinary. So yeah, to your point, y'all are great, because I live in LA where nothing is real and nobody's nice.
And it's so funny because, those of us who come from the East Coast to LA, so always accused of being too direct, too honest, working too hard. And so it's interesting to hear you say that, because that's a spin on what I've been told in my experience there. And then what happened to your crush before I ask you one more question?
Farmer Maria.
Yeah, you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, I know. I knew who you were talking about. No, it was funny. She was a farmer on one of and this poor girl probably is like, what? You don't really meet like the farmers. Yeah, the farmers we were meeting were like kind of missing a tooth, like they were farmers. And then I get to this farm, and there's like this beautiful rolling green hills, and there's this cute little like Evangeline Lilly looking girl with a little flannel on and Daisy Dukes and rain boots and a big old knife, and just chopping radishes. And I was just like, oh, hello. Like, you are adorable. And then I got to know her, and she was really fantastic. The funny, fun little crush, but it was funny. Our culinary director, who's also queer, was we were both crushing on her. We were kind of like figuring out who was gonna figure out if she was down or not, and then we left it.
That's great. It was great following you and watching you and your antics, and I can't wait to see the show. So I have one more question for you before we let you go.
Yeah.
Alex T Cooks, if you could do one thing to change the world, what would it be?
Ooh. If I could do one thing to change the world, what would it be? I have a quote tattooed on my back in a really bad tattoo, like it's really ugly, but these words kind of always stuck with me. Is when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. And I think if everybody could lead with compassion and empathy and love and think selflessly, I think that could change the world. I don't know if one single act I could do could change it. It would have to be a wish for compassion and empathy from others.
Beautiful.
Alex, thank you so much for hanging out with us today. I really appreciate it. I know I've been really looking forward to this, and I've been sort of pestering Suzy. When's you coming on? When's you coming on? When's you coming on? So really happy that you came on. Super fun.
I'm
I can't
so
wait to hang out with
happy.
you.
I'm so glad you both met.
Yeah.
I want to keep talking forever.
I know, me too. We'll have to do it again.
I know. Thank you guys for having me.
For
I
sure.
appreciate it.
Tell
You
Daniel,
guys go have fun.
Wait, tell Daniel and Maria, was it?
Oh, Gloria.
Gloria.
And then Roberta's outside.
Roberta, tell them all I said hello, and I'll see you on Instagram. Take care, Alex.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.